Hi and welcome. In today's video, Mariam here, sharing about how to live a more nourishing, energizing and prosperous life. In today's video, I wanted to share about a question slash topic slash, I hope it's all right, point that we do get often. When I say we, I mean not only me, people who also work into sharing a health message through moving, fasting, enjoying life, living on energy, what I call living on energy. And the topic today is, get ready, drugs and especially weed. So I know this video it might not be for everyone. Some people, they already know, they've never tried, they're not into this and they're fine. They don't need to hear anything about drugs or how to quit or why certain techniques can be, or which type of techniques can be more powerful than drugs. I'm going to speak about them in this video. So if this video is not for you, just say goodbye, pause it or stop it, watch others, come back another time. And for all those who are interested in the subject, I want to share about this because although I never was into drugs, I'm not into drugs, I don't actually do any of those things. I feel like my life, I live a high life and I live a life where I do get a lot of benefits through practices which are similar to some that you get through drugs, and that's what I want to share. Basically, people do drugs, I believe, to my experience of people I know and what I've been trying. I tried only weed, let's be honest, only once, and I'm going to share about that. But people try drugs for one reason: the effects that you get. And the positive effects that you get, the beneficial effect that you get, well, yeah. And the effects which are also spiritual side effects that you get through spiritual practices. And that's what I want to talk about. When you meditate because you get similar effects that people get through drugs, but people who do drugs think that's the only way to get those benefits that they get through drugs, which isn't true. But the truth is, you do get those effects way faster when you do drugs than when you go through other techniques, which may take longer, which may be more subtle at the beginning and takes a bit of practice, daily practice. But really, most people who like the effects they get through drugs practice drug regularly anyway. Okay, and when I talk about effects, I mean, number one, people do drugs because the effect that you get when you do drugs, a great one, is the opening or the feeling, the impression of the opening of the third eye. That's a major one and a big one. People who do drugs do get this feeling in the middle of your eyebrow of something like kind of opening up and going deeper in that area, kind of like I'll go there because there's people. Yeah, kind of like when you like something going deeper in your brain. It would be something similar to that. Okay, so let's recap that. The feeling is like something going deeper in the middle of your brain, and that feeling is very pleasant. When the sun is in the way, I'm trying to like find an angle where I can speak fine without you seeing my blurry face. Yeah, that's number one feeling. The feeling of having something like basically your third eye opening is a major feeling you get when you do drugs, and especially when you, I know about weed, I don't know about the others, but I know this is one of the feelings that you get. Number two, the impression of clarity and lightness in your brain. The impression of, ow, there's some horny, I'm walking barefoot, let me show you. And there's some horny bits around and I went around because people were walking on the path. Yeah, number two, effects, enjoyable effect you get when you do drugs is the impression of lightness and clarity in your brain. You feel light, you feel like on a cloud, you feel like this sensation of very similar to peace. Again, it's all an impression and an illusion. I'm going to share about that in a minute. All of that is fake though. All of that is fake because there's a downside to that, which is the second level of side effect that you get, which is the opposite of this. Heaviness, blurry, unclarity, confusion, all of this you get straight after the positive effects of doing drugs. Okay, so yeah, clear, light brain, this feeling of being like something is penetrating inside of you in a way that is enjoyable. Same when you do sex, actually, you get the same feeling through the orgasm. That's why people like it. Basically, people like this process of chemical release and chemical reaction in this area, especially of the brain, that afterwards goes through the entire body, not just the brain, the rest of the body. Okay. A third effect that people like, or that you get when you do drugs, I don't know if people like it, really, it depends on people, I guess, is a sensation of the feeling you have in your body, which is a feeling of like kind of shivering, and it's hard to explain though, but it's a pleasant feeling you have in your body, but that pleasant feeling is actually due to something negative, numbing your body down. Numbing down your body. Again, side effect of doing drugs, your body gets numbed down to a point that you actually think you feel good feelings and you have your senses amplified, but it's the opposite. Your senses are getting numbed and you actually don't feel anything no more. I know very well, because me, Mariam, being so sensitive to yeah, you get very sensitive anyway when you move fast and enjoy life more and meditate. Those 4 things, I would say, mainly, other things as well, but basically when you move, you fast, you meditate, those 3 as a foundation, your senses are a lot amplified. Like you can't compare this to anything. If you've never moved, or some people have actually moved, like exercised, I know that. We'll talk about this in another video. And if you never fasted and if you never meditated, you can't really understand what I mean, and you never experienced what I'm talking about. But I know, you know, the depth of your emotions. I mean, I know for myself, because when I tried weed once, and I did only once, and I'm not interested in going back because I think it's so boring compared to my life, the greatness I live. But one effect I felt very intensively is I had no more the emotions. Like I couldn't feel no more emotions and sense, like feelings in my body. But I know the trick and why people think they feel more or feel in a different way or feel this kind of peace and love, because there's a trick to that. It's very subtle, but I knew that I have a world of emotions and sensitivity like very high inside of me, because thanks to this. I never realized how sensitive I was until I tried weed. And you think you are more peaceful and more loving, but you actually are the opposite. I felt so uncompassionate when I tried. I tried only once. I felt like a lack of love for anything, a detachment to everything, but a detachment, feeling detached in a way that is negative, feeling like I wasn't caring about anything, didn't care about people, didn't care about life, basically. And that's a problem. The more you do it, and the more you feel this way, not caring about things, not caring about people, being unloving, in other words, and being so losing compassion. That's what I mean. It's the exact other effect you get when you are on a pill. Talking about this in another video for any women out there. When you're on the pill, that's the exact side effect you get, losing compassion. We'll talk about this in another video. But yeah, you lose compassion, you lose love for living beings, for life, basically, and it's like you die through this subtle trick of thinking you open up more, thinking you are into peace and love. Absolutely the opposite. Big side effect, negative side effect. Okay, in other words, I'm not encouraging people to, I'm not trying to like advocate for anything in this video. If you do drugs, you know, that's your life. I'm just saying there's other ways to get the benefits you get through drugs, which are so tiny and ridiculous, I gotta say, those I just mentioned. You do, yeah, benefit you do get, you do feel powerful. You do feel powerful, although side effect, you dumb under drugs, right? You think you talk in a smart way because you have no fear, because the fear, again, all emotions are numb down, so you don't feel fear anymore. Therefore you can I felt this way so strong. I was like, damn, I don't feel like, you don't have emotions created. So basically you don't feel any fear because the emotion linked with fear does not exist anymore, because I mean, it's under anesthesia. It's like numb down, so you don't feel fear because you don't feel the emotion of fears. In other words, the emotions of fear. But yeah, so I was feeling so powerful, but I was talking shit and rubbish, really. And because there is this delay as well, especially with weed, you like you can't process things. You can't. That's why I say you dumb. You become dumb and do drugs because you cannot process things, because everything is slowed down. Like, nothing can lead you to feel this way. Opposite of energy, right? Again, I'm not against drugs. I'm just saying, in the most neutral way I can, my experience, not only mine, the people around me who do that. Although I don't know many people who are into drugs, to be honest, because that's not my energy anyway. But yeah, so in other words, if you do want to have the benefits of drugs without the side effect, or minimizing the side effects, I'm not saying completely without, because there's one technique that has side effects. Actually, all techniques have side effects according to how much you practice them and who you are and your lifestyle. But if you want to get the same benefits, there's the number one technique I want to share with you is going to bring the most benefits, and it's the sun. Using the sun at its peak with open eyes. Now, not everyone can do that, especially if you are into drugs. It might take a while, because the sun isn't like your friend if you're not at a certain level of energy already, meaning explaining energy today, bracket. I had someone asking me on my Facebook, what is energy, what do you mean? And I never realized some people don't know what energy is. So I felt, damn, I'm making all those videos, doing all this work, or sharing, because it's not, I don't see it as work. I mean, it is work, but I see it as sharing my life. You're making all this, Mariam, and people still don't understand. People don't know. People don't even know what energy is. How can, yeah, anyway, little bracket, it was funny. I'm not trying to judge here, but I'm feeling like if I say the word energy, some people be watching this video like, I don't understand what she means. Okay, so if I compare it to drugs, the enjoyment you have through drugs, you can have the same if you look at the sun with naked eyes. Naked eyes. If you can have the same benefit if you look at the sun with naked eyes when the sun is at its peak. To be able to do that, you need to know how to do. I do that every day, but it takes, I've been taught, it takes it takes time, and it doesn't just work like that. So to start with, you can you can actually close your eyes and stare at the sun in the morning when the sun is rising. Then step number 2, you can open your eyes to the sun when it is rising, so very low from the horizon, okay? And then step number 3, you can open your eyes and look at the sun slightly higher in the sky. And then the more you do that, the more you are able to actually look at the sun when it's at its peak. I say at its peak because the energy of the sun, the power of the sun when the sun is at its peak is super, super intense. And therefore the result you will get are super intense as well. Basically, this feeling that you have in your brain, that the same feeling you have when you do drugs, will be there amplified like nothing you have experienced before. Same for people who are into sex and addicted to sex or porn or whatever that is, or masturbating. If you look at the sun this way, the feeling you have is going to be way more powerful than the feeling you have when you do sex or porn or masturbate. Same thing. You understand? So I mean, I can't say you understand until you try it. If you don't know how to do, if you live next to me, I can show you, hopefully, if I am in the mood. But yeah, that's something you can learn to do, and that's definitely going to bring the same benefits, a lot more amplified. Same benefits you get with drug, but a lot more amplified. Side effects. There are side effects of this. Some people don't know, but looking at the sun has the same side effects of doing drugs, but less amplified. Losing connection with reality, number one. Number two, being grumpy, angry, some kind of feelings can grow out of you, out of this practice, if you don't balance the practice out with other techniques. And number three, well, it depends if you are in a relationship or not, but yeah, you lose connection with reality, meaning that you lose connection with money, materialism, and sex as well, meaning that you don't actually want those things. You basically forget about them. It's okay if you don't live a life where you need money and sex and material things, but if you do, like over 90% of the population on this planet, then you probably are in trouble. Also, there are solutions for this. Not talking about this in this video. Look at my website for more, or send me a message. Okay, number two practice you can do to get the same benefits you get with drugs, but without the drug, without the side effect, or minimized side effects, is move. We'll talk about this first one. When you move, you create a lot of energy in your body. Move in a way that is ideally with other people, socializing, otherwise you get depressed. And number two, high energetic exercise, like for example tennis, basketball, football, rugby, things that, you know, again are with other people and make you run and push your limits and push your stamina, because that's how, this way you won't be able to do drugs, because your head, your brain won't be able to process the information linked with performing the workout. Therefore, you won't be able to do that. Therefore, you will have to focus on what you're doing. Therefore, you will be in the moment, and the energy that will be released and the chemicals that will be released through this practice will be the feeling will be a lot better than drugs. Again, takes a practice, because at the beginning you probably will be tired, exhausted, won't see the benefits straight away, although the breathing and yeah, still, even if you're tired, it's gonna be beneficial in a way, even at the beginning. Okay, number three, breathing techniques. When you breathe, number three technique to get the benefits of drugs without using drugs. Breathing techniques. Breathe. Relearn to breathe. Relearn how to breathe in a way that gives you energy, gives you this burst of chemicals in your body, create this inner reaction and inner processes that are enjoyable, a lot more enjoyable than smoking or being into drugs, right? I'm not going to show right now. This video is only theoretical. If you want to know, again, I share in other videos on my website. Go out there or look for other people's information as well. Number four, a technique to get the same benefits you would get with drugs, but a lot more amplified, without the side effect at all. I mean, unless it's the beginning, maybe it might not be fully easy, but still you will get a lot of benefits. Meditation. Meditation, meditation, meditation. I won't repeat that enough. Meditation is just like the number one greatness for me, and really life in itself, the way you live it, should be a meditation. But anyway, won't go into details right now. If you meditate, you will have this feeling in your brain, in your body, and your senses amplified a lot more just through meditation, okay? But again, make it a daily practice, make it a lifestyle, and train yourself to do that. And you won't need the weed and the drugs if you meditate, but it takes willpower. It takes willpower and faith and trust and being patient, finding your own self back through this and trusting the process. Number five technique to replace, to get the same benefits you would get through drugs, but without using drugs, is fasting. Okay, this channel is all about fasting, not just fasting, but mainly fasting, because fasting, I believe fasting doesn't give you energy. I'll talk about that in another video if I haven't done that yet. But fasting gives you that space where you can actually then generate energy the way you want, through moving, meditation, enjoying life. But if you fast, you will be able to, like the clarity and the lightness you feel in your brain when you do drugs, you will feel this way through fasting. If you fast, also your colon will be clearer, and you will feel this greatness that you do feel when you do drugs, and without the side effects. At the beginning, you might feel the detox process strong in your body, but soon enough, the positive effects will follow, and you will want to stick to that. When you start fasting, it's very hard to go back to not doing it unless you traumatize your body because you went too fast in fasting. Okay, I'll share the 5 techniques for you to enjoy the same benefits of drugs, way more powerful, way more amplified, way stronger, and way more pleasant without all the side effects. And all of those are free. Remember that? All of those techniques are free, because drugs, another side effect or another negative outcome, drugs cost money. Drugs won't set you free because you will always have to pay for them or get something or someone external from you to get them to get them. Drugs don't set you free because you always rely on them more and more to feel free, and you're not even free. It's all about an illusion. Drugs will only put you in this circle of infinite illusion. Okay, so the 5 techniques to repeat are: number 1, I'm gonna remember that. Number 1, looking at the sun with naked eyes at its peak if you can. Start slow and don't do if you never did. Number 2, moving. Ideally with other people, like exercising, moving your body, and high intensity movement. Number 3, meditation. Pick the meditation that you feel more connected with, that you feel like a click in your heart when you think of it. You may not feel the click in your heart if you are still into drugs. Just saying. Number 4, breathe. Relearn how to breathe. Take some time to learn how to breathe properly. Most of us, we breathe too shallow. Doesn't work for health. And technique number 5, fast. Learn how to fast. Again, take it easy, start easy. And the more you take your time, step by step, the better you will be on this path with fasting, and the fasting will become your best friend. It was a pleasure to talk to you today. I'm going to finish my walk, and I wish you a wonderful time. Keep safe. Remember, you are free. Remember to move fast and enjoy life, because that is going to give you energy, and energy is health. Health is freedom. All of that is linked together. Freedom is happiness. Bye now. Number 4, fasting. Did I say that? I said there were 5 techniques. Where is the 5th one? Meditation, sun, movement, fasting. Damn. I think I said only 4. Number 4 is fasting. Okay, well, fasting then. I forgot number 5. Did I say number 5? I forgot number 5. Okay, never mind.